This is federal capital territory. It's not like a state per state. It's not like a state per state you've got. This federal capital territory. The way Kano, the way Rivers, the way Sokoto, the way Ondo will not be the same way that will happen in the FCT. Those you are talking about, they are not indigenous. They are not indigenous. People come from everywhere to just talk about the whole of FCT. And you are saying that because of the issue that people, if they have work, it's not correct. That those who believe that they will continue to beg. That is truth of the matter. And we'll tell ourselves the simple truth. As a city like this, with the federal capital territory, where you have all the international bodies where they reside, it will be difficult for you to follow that kind of pattern. And we don't want for us to say, let's keep them social areas and then train them for this job and that. The FCT cannot handle that. We cannot handle that and let the truth be told. As regards to health, MRI, in fact, as of yesterday, we had the FCT executive committee, which will approve that you go and buy a CT scan and this thing, because the budget of 2024 will be ending in June. June ending. So yesterday, they will approve that there must be immediate procurement of the MRI and the CT scan. So that has been taken care of. Now, you talk about security. Also, understand that this is where the president resides, where every corporate headquarters is here. The IG is here. The National Security Advisor is here. The Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff is here. We don't have that autonomy as per autonomy to take the entire security architecture of FCT to where the president is here. And so for you to take some of these security steps, you must work in synergy with the National Security Advisor. You cannot on your own. Mind you, don't have an assembly to make law. It's a national assembly.
This is the assembly now.
No, what I'm trying to say is that it is not as easy as we are saying. It will go to House of Reps, it will go to the Senate. Unlike where you have your own state assembly, where you can sit with them from time to time and say, look, we have this problem. So you don't put out like other states that you want to do this and it will be that way. Now, the CCTV you are talking about was never done by FCT. We have no hand in it. About the police something. Now we have sat down with the National Security Advisor, with the DGSSS, with the IG. Look, as where it is today, what do we do as per the total security of FCT? You cannot put CCTV on our own where the president stays, where the president works. It's not possible. And that requires the collaboration of the national budget and the statutory budget. And you know, we must tell ourselves the politics is too much. It's not easy. It's not easy. You know, even the security agencies, you know. Not to talk about just FCT. Somebody said even for me. Who told you that? Who told you that things are not difficult for me? But the point is, like I agree with you. And that's why at this level, when at that level they come, you can say, listen, the Senate said, look, why can't we have a CCTV in FCT? Why can't we? If on myself alone, it won't work. The politics is too much that somebody will sabotage it. We must tell ourselves the simple truth, you know. So I am pleading that if you can invite the security heads, and then FCT will sit down, and then the Senate said, look, this is what should happen. Why are we not doing this? So you know our own problems. And like you said a picketing, which law allows me to do picket. I'm not a labor thing. Even before the CP would do it, before the CP would do it, you know, he will seek approval from the IG. He will seek approval from the IG. These things are not.
Follow up, Chairman, follow up.
Yeah, every now and then. The budget performance of FCT is commendable. But the most interesting thing is reduction in the personnel cost. Because whenever we're doing budget, people come, they increase the personnel cost. But you have reduced the personnel cost from 2024 to 25 by 21 billion. That is commendable. Secondly, you have more capital expenditure than recurrent. Recurrent is less than 30%, while the capital is over 70%. Commendable. Now, two questions I have for you. This issue of security, when you appeared before us last time, it was discussed. You are consistent, because what you told us then is what they're saying. But I think you should take it, because there's something you proposed then. You proposed interagency collaboration in terms of dealing with security situation in FCT. I think if you come up with a work plan on how these interagencies will work and go to Mr. President for approval, he will give you the approval so they can be implemented. That's my first question. Then the second and the last one is, Honorable Minister, I would like to see during your tenure a world-class referral hospital in Abuja. World-class. The one we have was originally Children and Women Hospital that metamorphosed into the National Hospital. It's already outdated. I want you to leave to a legacy, a world-class referral hospital in Abuja. I rest my case.
No seconder. Seconder now. I am here. Thank you. Yes. My left. Yes. Come on. Okay.
That all your commendations, don't give me a waiver. I, as the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, I want to also commend the minister. No, let me speak. It's a well-presented budget. Budget is high, but I would, and I ask my colleagues to pass the budget, but I also think that some issues should be discussed with the minister in camera. For one thing, IDPs need to be, there's so many, there are details that the people of FCT or the representative of FCT should discuss with, but I asked my colleagues that they should pass the budget as is.
Okay, this video is about the FCT minister known as Wike attending a meeting to defend the 2025 budget of Federal Capital Territory. We all know that he is the FCT minister and he has been in line with FCT approved budget for all infrastructural development and other development that has to do with Federal Capital Territory in Nigeria, which happens to be Abuja. My people, he is here to defend this particular budget. and to equally give us a hint of all his infrastructural development so far ever in this 2025. Stay tuned, watch the full details of this video, and feel free to drop your opinion in the comment section. Well, credit is going to Symphony TV, which happens to be on YouTube.
Of the FCT 2025 Statutory Appropriation Act Bill. On behalf of the distinguished senators, I am indeed delighted to express my profound appreciation to the Honorable Minister and also the Minister of State and other officials of the FCT administration for being with us. Distinguished colleagues, as you are aware, the meeting is scheduled to deliberate on the provision of the FCT 2025 statutory budget proposals with the Minister and all other relevant officials of the FCT. Distinguished senators, the deliberations. I wish to inform the Honorable Minister and his team that the committees on FCT, through our oversight duties, will continue to identify challenges of the FCT and give necessary advice for achieving the goals and aspirations of the administration at ensuring the provision of required infrastructure and quality delivery of services to the residents of FCT. In discharging our duties, we shall be transparent, fair, and will always be guided by the Constitution and all other laws and parliamentary conventions. We should also work towards protecting the rights of all Nigerians in FCT. Our committee appreciates the Honorable Minister, the Minister of State, for their collaboration and wonderful performance in the governance and execution of projects and programs in FCT. We commend the Honorable Minister FCT of State for recording 85% performance in the implication of FCT 2024 appropriation, which is quite unprecedented. Tackling current waves of insecurity in FCT, the entrenchment of the required administrative structure that enables the FCT to deliver its mandate effectively is also commendable. We have noted with the completion of previous projects and new ones embarked by the FCT administration. Distinguished colleagues, out of the total 2025 statutory budget of 1 billion 823,708,092 naira, the sum of 1,089,690,124,776 naira is for capital projects, which constitutes 72.33% of the budget. It is important to note that out of the total capital proposal of the sum of 1,814,910,776 naira is for ongoing projects, and this constitutes 85% of the capital project. In effect, what I'm saying is, out of the total amount earmarked for capital for 2025, the FCT is using or utilizing or proposing to use 85% for completion of ongoing projects. While the sum of 200 billion 775,212,000 is just for new projects. So I will say that this budget is a budget of consolidation. What the Honorable Minister proposed, all the uncompleted projects that he has started. Only 50% of the capital project is dedicated to new projects. Distinguished colleagues, from the analysis above, the FCT 2025 statutory budget is mainly aimed at completing ongoing projects. The recurrent expenditure proposed comprises only 27.6% of the budget. Therefore, this budget framework conforms with the best practice of budgeting, in which usually 70% is approved for capital and 30% for recurrent. What we have, in fact, is more than 70% for capital and less than 30% for recurrent. In view of the foregoing, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite the Honorable Minister to present the 2025 statutory budget proposal to the committees. Thank you very much.
Of this very great committee of the Federal Capital Territory, the Deputy Chairman, Mr. Chairman, let me, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of State, the management staff, and the entire FCT territory, thank you and your colleagues for this expeditious invitation to defend the 2025 FCT statutory budget. Let me also, through you, thank the Senate President and the leadership of Senate for the robust relationship and support they have given to the FCT committee. Let me also say to Mr. Chairman and members of this committee, and permit me to use this local adage in a local panel that says everybody is talking about what is going on in the FCT, commending the FCT. It wouldn't have been possible if we don't have a good relationship, if there's no synergy between this great committee and the FCT. And I say, people say, monkey they jump, monkey they jump. Now because tree near tree. If monkey jumps, when the tree is not close, the monkey will break leg. So the performance of the FCT today is as a result of your robust support and cooperation. I want to sincerely thank you, and that I will not take it for granted of all the support you have given to the FCT administration. Before I go forward, let me, so I don't forget, to also inform you, because of your support, we have written to Mr. President to give us 19 days of his convenience to commission projects that are very impactful to the people of FCT and to change the landscape of their city. If we include education and the rest, then it will take about 2 months. But we say to Mr. President, will not take all your time. so that you will see that all the support, the 2024 budget, you approve, that we have judiciously utilized it very well to the performance level of 85%. And so, but of most critical is the issue of the International Conference Center. You realize that last year, Mr. President inaugurated the ECOWAS Parliament. It was very embarrassing that a country that has a revenue of 1.3 and non-distributable revenue of 391 billion is provided in the FCT 2025 statutory budgets. Taking into consideration the parameters highlighted in paragraph 5 above. Now, when compared to the 2025 budget proposal of the sum of 1.7 with the revised 2024 appropriation of the sum of 1.6, there's an increase of the sum of 115 billion in the 2025 statutory budget proposal. This increase is to achieve a realistic budget performance in this 2024, having considered the remarkable improvement in the revenue generated in 2024 fiscal year. Now, the highlights are, of course, presented in the table below. So I don't want to bore you to start reading each of the items because of time. So I seek your permission. And then go. The personnel cost is 150 billion, representing only 8.43% for the personnel cost for 2025. Now, what was provided in 2024 was 140 billion. So there's a slight increase from 140 to 150 billion in terms of personnel costs. The increase is to accommodate the emolument of the appointed mandate secretaries, retired permanent secretaries, allowances, other political appointees of the administration, payment of staff, promotion, arrears. Overhead cost is 343.7 billion, which represents about 19.2%. Mr. Chairman, should I go ahead? Yes. So we're saying that 343.7 billion is proposed for overhead costs in the 2025 fiscal year, as against what we provided in 2024, which was 364 billion. So we have brought down the overhead cost from 364 billion to 343 billion in 2025. This shows a decrease of the sum of 21 billion. The reduction is to increase funding for capital development projects in the FCT. A quick look at the capital expenditure. The overview of the 2025 capital budget estimate are as follows. The sum of 1.2 trillion, representing 72%, is proposed as capital expenditure for the year 2025. In essence, the current expenditure is only about 27%, which is a record breaking in this country to provide 72% of your budget just on capital project, and then 27% for the current expenditure. We have tried to cut down the overhead costs. For us, capital expenditure is more important to us now for the development of this country. It's very key. We can't talk about development. You don't have roads. We can't talk about development. The schools are not there. You can't talk about development. Other basic infrastructure that drive development are not there. So it is important to focus on the capital expenditure. Now, that, of course, like I said before, showed 11% increase as against that in 2024. What we provided in 2024 was 1.1 trillion. But now we have provided 1.2 trillion in the 2025 as regards to capital expenditure. Now, out of the proposed capital expenditure, the sum of 80 billion is for Sukuk loan. The sum of 25 billion is for Abuja Light Rail project, which of course from China Exim Bank, which of course you know are non-distributable revenues. And then the sum of 15 billion is for Abuja Greater Water Supply, of course again, is from the China Exim Bank, which has been there before we came on board. Then 250 billion is for commercial loans planned to complete some of these ongoing projects. And Sectoral, while the balance of 919 billion is dedicated, 919 billion is dedicated to the completion of the ongoing projects we already have. So out of 1.2, 919 billion is dedicated to the ongoing projects which have been there before this administration came. Now, out of this 919, FCDA, which is the engine room of the FCT in terms of capital projects, is allocated 801 billion. FCDA, most people talk about FCDA as if it's the administration. FCDA is an agency of the FCT administration. FCDA is an agency of FCT administration. But when I have people say, oh, FCDA, no, FCDA is not, it's just an agency just for development, capital development of the FCT. In fact, most public buildings before now is carried out by FCDA. As far as government public buildings are concerned, is carried out by FCDA. That's why even the National Assembly before is being managed through the FCDA under the Federal Capital Territory. Because at that time the contract was awarded, it was paid through the FCDA to the FCT. Now for the capital expenditure, the one of the satellite towns were provided 137 billion for capital projects in the rural areas of the 6 area council. As I speak to you, for this second year anniversary, Mr. President, we have projects for Presidential Commission in Amak, in Gwagwalada, in Kwale, in Buhari. We have done the one of Abaji and Kuje. By the grace of God, next year, the road from Airport Junction to Kuje and Kuje to Gwagwalada will have all been completed, and which will be used for the third time, for the third year anniversary. So, by the time Mr. President finishes his first tenure, you will find it difficult to differentiate between the satellite towns and the city. We are going to Kabusa Keti, Kabusa Etakushara, and I've told Mr. President, for whatever it is, in this year commission of this project for this year, you must have to find time and go to one of these rural areas, because they have never seen this before. This is the first time they have seen this. And you must have to take our time to go to one of these, whether you want to go to Gwagwalada, whether you want to go to Kwale, whether you want to go to Buhari, whether you want to go to Amak. Choose. Let the people appreciate that, yes, the Unity Home agenda is really working. While other LCAs are allocated the sum of 351 billion for their capital expenditure, now the sectoral allocations are also provided. Paragraph 15, one is infrastructure sector of roads, transportation sector. Let me say this. In order to fight this one chance and this security in the city, you agree with me that when I appeared before you one time, I said we are going to build bus terminals where we will no longer encourage you to stand on the road and say, oh, you don't even know whom the driver is. You don't even know whether the taxi or the bus is known. You just enter the vehicle, and then tomorrow we are looking for you. This time around, we are finished the Mabushi bus terminal. We are finished the Kubo bus terminal. By the grace of God, in the next 2 months, we are finished with one of the central business areas close to the Eagle Square. And now, for this year, we want to build another bus terminal in Wagulada, build the one in Buhari, so that those who are coming from Buhari or coming from Wagulada will know that, look, I'm going to say that they drop at Mabuchi or Kubo or central business area, you don't have any problem again of say, oh, I don't know the vehicle I entered. And this facility are first class. I want you to go and visit this bus terminal. We are not talking about motor park. We are not talking about motor park. We are talking about first class bus terminal. Go and see. And then you come back and say, look, indeed, you have done well with the support you have given to us. So by the time these bus terminals are completed, I think we can say, look, we are approaching to what is available or what obtains in the advanced countries. We have also provided in the education sector. I'm about to say, and I want to challenge anybody. I see some people write, so school, children are sitting on the floor. Sir, I want to say, we have renovated and furnished not less than 70 schools. I told the mandate secretary, remove it from this commission. We don't want to. We will leave that for committee members of the Senate Committee of FCT and the House Committee to give to each of you. Come to this school. You go to that school. You go to the other school. It is easy for people to just to play politics. Go and snap somewhere, put it. This is a school in FCT. People are sitting on the ground. In any case, even if people are sitting on the ground, they'll be sitting on the ground before this administration came. And you cannot say every problem must be solved at the same time. We are taking it one after the other. No government can solve all problems at the same time. It's not possible. But we can beat our chest to say, with these 2 years, this government has been, this is what we have done in terms of education, in terms of infrastructure, and in terms of health. And look at the amount we have budgeted for education in that capital project, not less than 181 billion naira for education. I don't know of any state that can say they are budgeting this kind of money for education in their own state. So I would sincerely would say you should look at it very well and see what we have done. I don't want to take your time. If everything is before you, I have pleaded with Mr. Chairman of the too much engagement today. But what's important is that you are able to spare your time to say, look, come and defend this budget. I want to appeal to you. The way you have always done, the way you have always supported us, do not relent, because we cannot do this alone. We require the collaborative efforts of you and us to be able to achieve this, to make Nigerians happy, and to have the belief, indeed, that the Real Hope agenda is not just mere talk. It is with commitment and seriousness. Thank you, and God bless you.
FCT is proposing to generate about 1.7 trillion. And out of the 1.7 trillion, 1.3 is the distributable revenue. That means these are revenues that are being generated from the services of the FCT. While 391 billion, these are loans and counterfund funding. So if you total the two, you have 1.7 trillion. This is the first time FCT is generating this type of money. And as I said earlier, out of the whole amount, about 84% of it is going to capital. And out of the 84%, substantial, almost 75% is going for completion of ongoing projects. There is no doubt this is a very good achievement. And considering the fact that budgets from other organizations, you discover that the capital is almost 50% and overhead just another 50%. What FCT is presenting is one of the best budgets so far. And before I allow the floor for questions, and I would like also to note that the IGR proposed by the FCT has greatly improved. The FCT is proposing 608 billion naira just IGR. So this is something to commend the Honorable Minister and his state and his staff for doing a wonderful job. After saying this, I think I will allow the floor so that we can have one or two questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Chairman. Let me join you in also welcoming the former governor and FCT minister to our meeting, commending him comprehensively for the turnaround of the FCT as a state capital, equating that with very serious capitals like Johannesburg and Cairo. My question, Mr. Minister, has to do with security. In 2011, there was this idea of bringing Abuja and its environs into a CCTV control with a control center at the National Police Headquarters. And there was an attempt, the contract was given to Chinese, and the infrastructure was actually being brought to Nigeria. And looking at this budget on page 6, I saw, in my estimation, a factory of 78 billion. How would you utilize that 78 billion in view of the very serious, challenging security situation of the FCT?
Why are you laughing? Look, this is Senate. Don't be joking with us. Okay.
No boxing gloves.
No, he was my former friend, you know. Well, what you are doing is visible. It's not something hidden. So there is no need bothering to say that you are doing well. Everybody that knows where Abuja was 2 years ago and now know that we have done well. But my problem is, every time, even yesterday, my friend told me that Wike is doing fine. I say, no, it is the Senate that is doing fine, because without approving his budget, he cannot do anything. Now you have said it, and we'll continue to support you in that regard. But my main observation, as I said, and it's serious, what distinguished Senator Ningi said, is about security. And I'm suggesting that instead of the police coming out at 4 o'clock to be causing go-slow, you should introduce picketing. They do that in Cairo. What I mean by picketing is that from 6 o'clock or 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening, you deposit or post police at every 200 meters. In every street, there will be after 200 meters, there should be one police sitting down there or standing there till in the morning. That way, the presence of the police alone secures the night, and they can leave in the morning. That is very, very important. Secondly, about the issue of health. Even today, a patient was taken to Asokoro Hospital. They don't have
the federal government own our own.
That is what I don't know. You are not Minister of Federal Government, you are Minister of FCT. It's in the FCT. So no, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All of them are under you. So if it is just, or what of the Asokoro Hospital, is it under you or somebody else? Eh? Asokoro, I can see even your budget here. Asokoro District Hospital, please take note.
The district hospital?
Yes. They don't have, as it is now, they don't have MRI, they don't have CT scan. And I think this is something, I'm sure it's not, you are not aware. If you are aware, you would have done something about it, and you need to do something about it. Lastly, FCT, are you with me? It's about the indigents or the displaced persons roaming in Abuja. It is not enough as Nigerians driving them, arresting them. What you need to do is to do what the Kano state government did as far back as in the 70s. That is picking the indigents, if you know, and you have a camp where you can feed and train them so that they will be off the street. If you have something like that already, that's fine. But it's very important because before somebody comes to the street to beg, it means he has nothing to eat. So if you can have a camp that will provide them such facilities, train them, and then take them off the streets through that transitional method, is better. It doesn't matter, but they are all Nigerians. Are you not coming from everywhere? That's my suggestion.